Hello! Hi everyone. This video is to preserve my experience at the 1989 rooftop secret session. It was just the most amazing, brilliant, enchanting thing that I could have ever have hoped to have been a part of. I'm so thankful to just have been there and gotten to experience it. So thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Taylor Nation. Thank you for letting me be there. So what happened was I was at Good Morning America, GMA, and I was waiting with a group of people that I recognized from the last album release. Hey to all of you. We were waiting for Taylor to get there for her interview, and we thought maybe we could say hi to her on her way in. We expected her to get there at 6:15, and it turns out she didn't get there until about 7:15, so she had to rush right in. But we figured we would stay anyway and maybe see if we could say hi to her on her way out. But about 20 minutes later, two girls came out of the studio and said, "We need her inside really quickly." And they gestured to one of the girls that I was standing with. So she went inside, and then another girl was picked to go inside, and then my friend Liz. And then about a minute later, I was picked to go inside. And I found out from the first girl that was picked that Taylor picked us and said, "No, go back out and pick her. I want her to come too." Talking about me. R.I.P. me. So we were standing in this hallway just waiting around for about 15 minutes. And then this door opens and this Good Morning America girl says, "Come with me guys really quickly. I need you to come." So we literally run after her. We run through these doors, through these rooms, and then all of a sudden we are in the main studio where Good Morning America is filmed. We were led over to this big blow up of the 1989 album cover, but this security guard started yelling at us. Apparently we weren't supposed to be there. So it was fine because we backed up, and then I turned around and right next to me is Andrea Swift. And Liz and I started talking to her, and she remembered us from the last album release because we met her the day that Red came out in Walgreens. That was really sweet of her to have remembered us. We all got hugs and we got pictures, and then I just started telling her my life story and started crying. And she just took me in her arms and she gave me a hug, and she was just so supportive and so nice. And she said, "No, honey, you've made brave choices. You're gonna be okay. It's fine. I promise. Please don't cry." And so I'm gonna be okay because Andrea Swift says so. She's just so sweet. Scott Swift was there too, and he gave us a bunch of pics because that's what Scott does. And they were both just so incredible. I got photos with them both, and Scott insisted on photobombing our photo even though he was supposed to be in it. So, but that's Scott. So we watched Good Morning America do all their segments, and we were shuffled around here and there because we always had to stay out of view of the cameras. And then Taylor came out to do her interview with Robin. Love Robin. She's so strong and so sweet. I tried to thank her for being so strong and sweet, but all that came out was thank you. But maybe she got it because she was just like, "Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you for saying that. That's so nice of you." You know, if you happen to see this, Robin, that's what I try to thank you for, just for being so lifting and so strong. Her interview was so great and so funny, and I watched it with Andrea, and we were just commenting and laughing, and everything was so cute. Then she was done, and she came over to us and said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry I have to run, but do you guys want to hang out later?" And we were like, "No, can't. We're busy. Sorry." We all said yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, okay, great. That's so great. We'll have fun. We'll hang out. We'll do everything." So Taylor Nation came over and took our information, and they told us that they would be contacting us at 4 o'clock. They actually emailed us at 10 o'clock and told us to be at the first location at 4 o'clock. So we all met up at 4 o'clock at the first location, which was the iHeartRadio Theater downtown. We had to check in our phones and our bags, and then we went and sat in the theater while everyone else was getting checked in. And there were cookies and cupcakes and Diet Coke, of course. Some of us were filmed at the theater. We were asked questions like what Taylor means to us and what our favorite song off the new album is. I want to say that we weren't there really long, but they did tell us to meet at 4, and by the time that we were moved to the next location and on the rooftop and Taylor came out to perform, it was 6 o'clock. Clearly it took some time, but we really didn't feel that. We were all just so excited and there was a buzz in the air and we were just enjoying ourselves, all of us together. So Taylor comes out and she does her iHeartRadio performance, which you should have watched. It was great. I was front and center and definitely looked like a moron. But I was having so much fun, so it doesn't even matter. It's better to have had fun than to look cool. So Taylor finished up her set, and then she asked us if we wanted to hang out. Again, I'm sorry, I can't. I made plans, whatever. No. We all said yes, and she said, okay, great, I'll see you guys after I go get changed. She left, and her backup singers were leaving after her, and I helped the one with the short black hair and the blue eyes step down, and I told her she was really pretty. She's gorgeous, insanely gorgeous. And she was just so genuinely shocked and surprised. She's like, oh my god, thank you. Oh my god. Literally with that face. So that was fun. That was a nice experience. So we were taken a few floors down and we were let out onto this huge floor, this huge room with like sunken sitting areas and huge flat screen TVs all over the place where the live stream was playing. There was pizza and really good looking waiters, and the album was on repeat and it played from the moment that we all entered into the room, and it went on all night. So we were all dancing and all singing. Suddenly Taylor appears and she starts singing happy birthday to a fan who's, obviously it was her birthday. She had just turned 21. So Taylor shows up with this bottle of champagne to give her, and we're all singing happy birthday to her. And then Taylor says to us that the way that Secret Sessions works is that there's no form, there's no rules. We do whatever we want to do. We all take pictures, and the more theatrical, the better. Everyone then got into a line really quickly, and like really orderly too, like A+ guys. Like, we hadn't been told what to do. There was no security guard ushering us anywhere. We were all pretty chill. We found our chill momentarily. Everyone was civil. We were just excited. I was initially third in line, but then I saw that people were leaving as soon as they got their Polaroid, and I wasn't ready to leave yet. So I got out of line and I just sat off to the side and watched people take their photos and talk with Taylor, which was the cutest thing. Some people were crying. I was just like, because it was so cute. Everyone was so deserving to be there, and I was so happy for all of them. And we're all excited and happy for each other. And Andrea came over and sat next to me, and we were just watching everyone take their photos and chit-chatting, and we're making comments about how we don't understand how Taylor comes up with the things that she says and the things that she does. And it was just so funny and just such a nice moment to just be sitting there and watch everything as it happens. These are times where maybe some people would have liked to have had their phones to capture these candid moments for fans, but I was just so happy to not have my phone and get to enjoy everything and sitting with Andrea and just watching it all, taking it all in, because this is something she sees on a daily basis, but I'm sure it never gets old. I ended up getting to be the last person in line, which I was secretly hoping for, so I was so happy. I was waiting in line with a girl that I met at Good Morning America, Verity, and she was a bit nervous. I tried reassuring her a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was her turn with Taylor. Taylor thanked us for waiting so long, and Verity told her that we had no sleep to get to this point. Taylor was like, I would have pushed ahead to the front of the line, but I told Taylor that since we had met before, and I wasn't sure who hadn't and who was meeting her for the first time. I knew I could wait, so I just sat back. She nodded when I said that we met before, and she said, "I thought so, you're very familiar." And I nodded, and she said, "But not recently." And I said, "No, this was actually our second rooftop. We met at the premiere for We Are Never Ever." And she cuts in and goes, "Yes!" Like I knew it. And I was just so amazed, because how do you remember someone that you spoke to for 10 seconds 2.5 years previously? She's just amazing. But she was still with Verity, so I was like, we'll talk. And she said, yeah. And she went back to Verity, and they spoke for a couple more minutes. They took the cutest photo, drinking tea, all fancy, because Verity is English. And then it was my turn. She goes, "Hey, buddy!" And she opens up her arms for a hug, and I go and I hug her, and I say, "Big sister!" And she goes, "Oh, last one!" And we're hugging and spinning all the while. She thanked me again for waiting so long. I told her that I had walked 2.6 miles to buy Speak Now the day that it came out, and I had wanted to tell her that at our first rooftop. We talked about our cats and their growls and their swipes and their antics. She literally did that in my face. I got her these pet deodorizing candles, which are absolutely incredible, by the way. This is Gingerbread Lane, which is my favorite. Pretty sure it's gonna be her favorite too. Even if you don't have a pet, you should get them. They smell amazing. I told her I got her ones that smelled like fall and winter. She's like, "Who'd you give them to? I have to get them for my hotel room." I told her what scents I got her, and she was like, "You got me 5?" She was so amazed and so thankful. She gave me personal advice, and we bonded over personal things that we had in common, and I thanked her for being there for those things and for everything. She called me sassy. She said, "You're so sassy, I love it." We laughed, and really it was just me. I was talking to my older sister, my best friend, and it was just the greatest thing ever to finally have this moment after 8 years. She asked what we were gonna do for our photo, and I asked if we could dance around the kitchen in the refrigerator light, exactly like that. And she said, "Of course we can." So we walked over to the refrigerator, and she said, "Let's open both doors so we have room." And then she looked to the camera girl and said, "We're dancing around the kitchen in the refrigerator light." Like, she had to explain it, and it was so cute. We did a heart with our hands for the photo too, like that. Then she said, "Let's do another photo too, a close-up like this." She put her hands on her cheek like this, and we took another photo like that. I hugged her again, and this is really the best part. She said to me, "I'm so glad you were last because I so enjoyed talking with you." And she thanked me for my honesty. I hugged her goodbye. She said, "I hope to see you around later." And I said, "Hopefully we will." And then I waved bye to her. I tried to thank Taylor Nation for inviting me, and the girl was like, "Oh, you're welcome, honey, but it wasn't us. Taylor picked you. Taylor wanted you here, but you're so cute." I hugged her anyway. I thanked her anyway. And then we got our keychains, what I've been wanting ever since I found out about Secret Sessions. It says 1989 album release week, New York City, New York. Of course I wanted the Polaroid too, but this is huge. This is one of my prized possessions now. So we got that, we got the keychains, and we got our stuff that we checked in, and I sort of just floated away. I wanted to cry leaving, and I want to cry thinking back on that night, because it seems so overwhelming, but it's just so amazing to realize that it happened, and I can't cry. I just smile, and I'm so happy The second photo is so odd to me because it's so close. It's like we're friends and we're having fun and it's so cute, and I wasn't expecting it, but they're both so great, and I have 2 Polaroids with Taylor. And I got to have the best conversation with her, the one that I always wanted to have. I got to tell her what I wanted to, and I'm so lucky and I'm so thankful to have had this opportunity. Again, it's just hard to comprehend that this happened, that I spent 4 hours in my beautiful city with this person who has reassured me for 8 years that what I'm doing and who I am isn't wrong, and I'm a good person, and it's important to be good and kind and genuine, and above all, be happy and try your hardest even when it'd be easier to give up. I just love her, and I'm so happy she picked me, because I picked her 8 years ago because I agreed with her, and she agrees with me, and it's just so wonderful. We found Wonderland. That was my 1989 secret session experience. It was absolutely fantastic, and I can't thank Taylor enough for picking me. And for every other fan that is waiting to meet her, I promise you, your time is coming. This era is so completely different, and there are so many opportunities coming. I promise you, just keep being loud, keep supporting her. You are noticed, you are loved, and your time will come. I love you all, and we're all a family, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. I also need to take this opportunity to congratulate Taylor. I was waiting to post this video until we got official word that Taylor is the first musical act in history to have 3 million selling first weeks, and consecutively. And I, Ashley Juliet, am proud to say that I have been a part of each of those million selling weeks. And now also the only platinum selling artist of 2014. I could not be happier or more proud of her to be part of this beautiful love with her and with our fan family. And to those who have had or have doubts, and those industry experts who predicted a 650K first week, it must suck to suck. Come over. Come over to the happy side. It's better here. We have cookies, baked by the angel herself. Come, it's okay.